ago, the world was a very different place. Man struggled to survive in this hostile environment. They knew little of science or logic, and only few had monotheistic views. And so, paganism arose in much of the ancient world, and with it came magic and folklore. For thousands of years, paganism held power in most of the world, until the rise of Christianity. But magic and folklore still had great impacts upon Christianity as well. We shall explore the impacts that magic and folklore had upon paganism and Christianity, and how or why the impacts were different. The Nordic lands are a region of northern Europe consisting of the nations of Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Denmark, the Faroe Islands, and the islands of Ireland. Germania consists of northern Germany and Poland. For much of its early history, the peoples of the Northlands remained pagan. Magic did not have a great impact upon the Norse cultures. The Norse believed that magic was used by the gods amongst themselves, and so magic had little impact upon their lives. Folklore, on the other hand, had a great impact upon the Norsemen. They believed that a great array of gods, fairies, and norns ruled over their lives and fates, and so could cause almost anything to happen to them. When Christianity first arrived in the form of Catholicism, some of the pagan beliefs were adapted into the religion. Creatures such as trolls and imps were said to be demons, while good fairies were classified as fallen angels. Some of the pagan rituals were even kept and used as Christian rituals. But with the arrival of Protestants, magic and folklore no longer had such impacts upon Christianity. Unlike the Norse cultures, magic played a very important part in the daily lives of the Finnish people. Magic was used by gods, but also by shamans. Shamans used their so-called magic to heal people and to protect the Finns from other humans or creatures of folklore, which also had a great impact on the Finns. Like the Norsemen, the gods ruled over the lives of the Finn, but as did fairies and mythical creatures. When Christianity arrived in the 11th century, paganism no longer flourished, but it managed to survive. However, magic and folklore had very little influence on Christianity. The Celtic lands include England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, the Orkney Islands, the Shetland Islands, Northern Iberia, France, and the Alp countries. Pagan Celts were greatly impacted by magic. Druids were Celtic priests which were believed to have magic powers. Druids served as priests, doctors, leaders, bards, sages, and counselors. Druids had an incredible amount of power, causing magic to have an enormous amount of impact upon the Celts. Folklore also had great impacts on the Celts. Like most pagan cultures, the Celts believed that the gods ruled over their lives. The Celts also believed in a variety of spirits, fairies, and shapeshifters, which, like the gods, could cause things of great importance to happen to them. When Christianity arrived in the Celtic lands, Celtic magic and folklore was viewed as evil and satanic, so it was thus destroyed, although some pagan tribes survived in the wilderness until the Normans and Franks conquered most of the Celtic lands and set up Christian empires in the later Middle Ages. Slavic lands are a region of Eastern Europe that include the countries of Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Slovakia, Macedonia, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Croatia, Bulgaria, Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Montenegro. Because of the hostility of the land, pagan peoples were able to survive and flourish for many years even though Christianity held power. Magic was not very impactful on the Slavic peoples, but folklore was. Slavic pagans worshipped an array of gods and an even larger array of spirits and faefolk. These beings were thought to rule the lives of the Slavs, so in order to appease them, the Slavs built great monoliths for them and made offerings to them. Christianity first spread through the Arya in the 200th century AD. Most of this Christianity was of the Byzantine forms. These forms of Christianity were greatly influenced by pagan Slavic folklore. Many rituals used to appease supernatural beings were used by the Church. Many biblical figures, especially prophets, were made into counterparts of Slavic wizards. And God himself was said to be the white god of Slavic mythology, while Satan was the black god. As Christianity gained more power, the original Slavic folklore was slowly erased from the Church, but not completely. Even today, there are many Christian churches, mainly Orthodox and Byzantine, that continue some of the ancient Slavic rituals. The region of Mesoamerica is a cultural one, stretching from central Mexico down to Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. The main groups of people of this region were the Aztecs and the Mayas, both of which had a similar culture. Both cultures were greatly impacted by magic. Special shamans were believed to have magic abilities. They often served as doctors, priests, and advisors. Folklore had even more of an impact on the Aztecs and Mayas. Like most pagan cultures, the Mesoamericans believed in many gods. They believed that the gods controlled the universe and they could easily destroy it. So, in order to keep them appeased, the Mesoamericans constantly waged war upon each other in order to capture prisoners to sacrifice to the gods. When Christianity arrived in the 15th century, most Mesoamericans were forced to convert, or they were slaughtered if they did not wish to do so. However, some beliefs survived. A few saints of the Catholic Church today have their origin in Mesoamerican mythology. So you can now see that magic and folklore had great influences on paganism and Christianity. The only main difference is that magic and folklore were seen as positive impacts by the pagans, but usually as negative by the Christians, for the most.